I have activated my wildcard. Yes, you heard it right. I activated my wildcard chip. I researched everything that I would do in game week 9 when I was planning to use the wildcard, and it didn't differentiate a lot from my game week 5 draft. I wanted to use some players from game week 9, but I integrated some now, and then I'll just make some my regular transfers or take one hit or two just to adapt the team. But I'm now in a very bad situation in game week 4, and I want to attack the fixtures in game week 5 and just get the upper hand, because I believe that all of the players, when they use the wildcard chip, will go somewhere around my team, and I want to be prepared. As you may already seen my wildcard guide, I am opting for Flecken and Turner. I think they're the best goalkeepers duo for me. The issue with Flecken is that he is having a blank in game week 18 or 19 against Manchester City, and then Turner is having a pretty good fixture rather than Areola, who is having a tougher fixture. And the other reason for me going for Turner is that I don't have any money to go for Areola. I am using all of my budget on the starting 11 and the bench, and I don't have any money for any transfers. All of the transfers are already done in my team. I've saved some money here and there, but yeah, the team is looking fine right now, and I believe it's going to be strong. The reasoning behind Flecken instead of Leno is that Flecken, in my opinion, is playing for a better defense, and when they face the tougher opponents, they are going in a 5 at the back, and they tend to keep a lot of clean sheets in those games, and they are making a lot of teams strike outside of the box, and Flecken can easily catch those shots and make some save points. In the easier fixtures, they have been leaky so far, but they already got a clean sheet. Flecken is doing alright, and I believe that everything is going to be fine with that choice. I know Turner is having a game against Burnley, but I believe Burnley will need points, and the Nottingham Forest fixture is very likely to be a first game when they get some points, and I believe they will score goals, because they played alright against Spurs in the first 20 minutes. They were pressing high, they scored a goal, they scored a second in the end, so I believe that they are capable of scoring more and more goals against weaker oppositions. And even though Nottingham Forest at home are a very solid side, I believe that Burnley will score a goal, so the save points will be coming more from Brentford, even though they are playing against Newcastle and it's a away fixture. I believe a 5 at the back will be deployed. That will be Pinnock, me, and maybe Zanka will be the third defender. It will be two fullbacks, and Bumo will be up front, so together with Wissa most probably, and it will be a strong midfield. So it'll be basically a 5-3-2 with a strong midfield core, a strong defense, and fullbacks that will tear up Newcastle once again. I believe that Flecken will get some points, and he's the goalkeeper of my choice, and I'm sticking with him. Turner, a pretty good opportunity for him to shine once again in the blank game week. He's an option when Flecken is maybe injured or suspended. It's an option to play Turner. I know they bought a second goalkeeper, but I believe that he is going to be a second choice and Turner will be a starter. And I'm pretty delighted with the goalkeepers so far. I didn't see anyone better at that price point at 4.5 rather than Flecken. Pope was a strong contender, but he's at 5.5. Martinez is a strong contender at 4.9, but Villa are leaky and they lost the second defender. The Diego Carlos and Tyron Mings are both injured, so I'm staying away from the Villa defense for now. Maybe on the next wildcard I will opt for Martinez, I'll see, but Flecken, pretty good choice. David Sanchez, no, it's Robert Sanchez, sorry. And Leno were the other options, but I don't like the Chelsea triple up because I have two more players in my draft that are from Chelsea, and I don't like Fulham as a whole right now in a defensive department. They tend to get a red card. Yeah, he's taking some shots outside the box, he's making some wonder saves, but they're conceding a lot of goals, and I believe Flecken has the opportunity for saves and for clean sheets. Brentford, are such a good side, and my 4.0 keeper is not going to be playing, but I like to have a playing option just in case. But yeah, Flecken and Turner start for me in the goalkeeper position. Now let's go and see the defenders. There is a big surprise there, and I think you will like it. In defense, I've made several changes. There are two guys that are remaining in the side. The first one is Chilwell. Chilwell, even though he's playing as a left winger, I believe that now Sterling and Cole Palmer will play on the wings, and Chilwell will be back in the 4-back formation and he will do good. where his regular position is. There is a chance of assist, there is a chance of a goal from Chilwell. I believe they have an okay fixture run up until game week 8, and if I used my wildcard after game week 8, Chilwell wouldn't have been in it, but for okayish fixtures for a Chelsea defender, I believe it's worth it. For me, going without a Chelsea asset is going to be a mistake. I know they are a little bit shaky and they have a lot of injury problems, but I believe that even though they have those problems, their players are reasonably priced and they are good FPL options. Just like Awoni from Nottingham Forest, they're not the best side, but he's doing bits. So yeah, you can have a bad team with good FPL options, and for me, Chilwell is a great FPL option until maybe Rich James is back into the side. He's going to be the most attacking defender on their side. He's the captain now. He's taking some set pieces. He's involved in the attacks. Yeah, he's sometimes substituted off, but that can be a good thing if it's a 0-0 on 1-0 for Chelsea. He can be subbed off, and even if they concede a goal, he will get the clean sheet. So I don't see that as a bad thing right now. He's staying over the 60 minutes, so he's getting both of the points for playing the game. So yeah, I'm pretty delighted with Chilwell. Estupinian is the other player that's remaining in the side. I know there is a tough fixture run coming from Brighton, but they just annihilated Newcastle, and Estupinian is very integral for their playstyle. And I believe Estupinian is going to remain in my side no matter what. I'm not trying to be biased or something, but I don't see myself selling him. Maybe I will if I have the opportunity and I need to sell him, but for now, I don't see a reason to do so. For me, I can bench him against City and Liverpool in game week 8 and 9, and after that it's a clean sweep for Brighton, and I'm not going to waste transfer to bring him in and take him out and then bring him in. It is useless in my opinion. Next week is a Bournemouth game for Brighton. I believe there may be some rotation and he may be taken off a little bit earlier, but last season I thought that, and he was rested just for 60. He was playing 65 minutes and then he was rested for 20 to 25 minutes. I don't see why this is not going to happen this season as well. They not have anyone that can go there. He is basically their best left back, and even though there is a European football, I believe the Prem is going to be a main focus for Brighton. He will be most probably rested in the Carabao Cup, and I like Estupinian as an option. In the tough fixtures on the bench, in the even at some tough fixtures, I'm going to play him because he is better option than, let's say, Udogie in the games against Liverpool or Arsenal. So Estupinian is going to be an integral part. I see some drafts in the YouTube community without Chilwell and Estupinian. The wildcard drafts, I believe that's a mistake. I don't see myself going for a defense without them because, in my opinion, they're the best attacking wingbacks at the more expensive route, so over 5 million, let's say. So for me, it's a no-brainer to go without them. The new addition in the starting lineup is Udogie. He is a Spurs defender. Everyone has already heard of him. He's playing very well. They're keeping some clean sheets. He's getting some assists because he's just passing the ball to attacker. A solo run, it's a goal. He's doing well. He's in dangerous positions. A goal is maybe up in his pocket at some point. A home game against Sheffield. I know there are two tough fixtures for Spurs, but I have a coverage for them. After that, it's a pretty clean run for Spurs. They don't have any cup games up until Christmas. They don't have any European football, so it's only Prem focused, and I believe Udogie is going to be an integral part. One of the reasons that I wanted to do the wildcard is to adapt my defense to the new meta, to say, when there is a lot of clean sheet and the defenders that are returning points are the attacking defenders. So Chilwell, Udogie, and Estupinian for me are the best three attacking defenders. There are some others that I've omitted here, but I will explain why. On the bench, there are two big surprises. First, my 4.5 defender is Giles from Luton. I know you say that the Luton defender is useless and they're conceding a lot of goals and blah 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 blah. Hear me out. In game week 5, he's on the bench. Even if he is required to play, he is up against Fulham, so it's a no issue. Then, in game week 6, Udogie is having a game against Arsenal, and Giles is having a game against Wolves at home. And Luton at home looked very, very well against Chelsea they were playing, up until they conceded the second goal, but they were dangerous. After that, they had a home fixture Oh no, they weren't against Chelsea. Sorry, they played against West Ham. Sorry, yeah, they played against West Ham, and they were pretty solid. So I like them a lot there. And Giles is the guy with the most crosses in the Prem so far from the defender's perspective. So who is up until the end? A very tall guy from Luton and their captain Morris. So yeah, Giles, in my opinion, can get some cheeky assists here and there. And in Game Week 7, there is a specialty from him. He has a double game week against Everton and Burnley. What better to use a Luton player than in those two games? So Wolves in Game Week 6 and then a double up in Game Week 7. It's a perfect opportunity to replace Udogie, and in my opinion, it's a very solid option, and it's going to be a differential for sure. I am getting a 3-game run from 2 game weeks, so that's pretty solid. And Riley, it's from Burnley. He's from Burnley. He's not playing any minutes, but I do not care. He's going to be my 15th player in the team. I'm not relying on him for anything. If someone of my side is injured, I'm just transferring him out and taking someone else. I'm never playing my 5th defender. You're going to say why you don't go for Kabore. For one main reason, I don't have any money. And Riley, for me, a pretty good coverage. He's a Burnley player, so he's not taking any main team spots. So the other 3.9 players are Luton and Brighton, I believe, and I want maybe a second player for Luton for Game Week 7, and Brighton, there is no way that I'm going to use my space for a 3.9 defender sitting on the bench and never playing. So yeah, Burnley players are a very good shout out for just fodder that is staying on the bench. And you say that without Giles I can go for Match Cash or Mitchell or Henry, or for Botman, and you are most probably right, but let's discuss the most popular options first. I'm going to start with the Newcastle defenders. I don't like how Newcastle are playing so far, and they're having a very tough fixture run in the Carabao Cup, in the league, and in the Champions League. So against Champions League, it's a very tough group. Again, in Carabao, it's against City, and they are going to rest most of their important players, in my opinion, in the Prem. So Botman or Shar can be rested because I'm going for one of them both. And if they tend to improve after Game Week 7, when there is a double up for Giles, I can just swap him out for Botman or for Shar if I have the money, and everything will be Gucci, so I wouldn't lose a lot of points on the Newcastle defenders. I already have a strong setup for the defenders. I like to play 3 defenders. If something happens and Giles is brought up in for the next 4 game weeks, I'm delighted because he can assist against Fulham. Fulham are bad. He can assist against Wolves. Yeah, Wolves are playing alright, but they are conceding goals here and there, and in the double up he is going to play. So for me, Giles is a very strong option in my opinion, and I don't want to waste a transfer in Game Week 7 because in Game Week 5 I'm not playing any other defender than those 3. In Game Week 6, yeah, most probably I will play a defender, but maybe Henry, okay, or Mitchell, okay, but for me, already a setup player in my wildcard, Giles is going to be good. And yeah, as saying, Newcastle defenders are a no-go. I already have a Brentford defender, so Henry is not for discussion. I don't want to have a Crystal Palace defender yet. Maybe after when I replace Chilwell, I can replace him with a Crystal Palace defender because their fixtures turn for the better after Game Week 11, and from them Anderson or Mitchell are options. And I don't like much cash right now because, as I was saying, I'm not very delighted with Villa defending so far. I need to see how they're set up in Europe. And after that, I can bring him in from Giles or for Chilwell if I want to. So I have options to replace the players that are having a bad fixture run after Game Week 8. And Udogie and Estupiñán are going to stay in because they have good fixture run. So only one defender I will need to swap some of my defenders. We'll have to see, but for now in Game Week 5, Chilwell, Udogie and Estupiñán in the starting lineup, Giles as a 4 defender and Trale as a fodder on my bench, and I believe everything is going to be alright with that defense. It's pretty solid defense with good attacking options, solid options. I believe that you cannot go any better than that for the wild card in Game Week 5. Now let's go and see the midfield. I have a pretty big surprise there because, as you can see, the money are wasted, and I want to explain my reasoning behind that strong midfield that I'm going to showcase to you. Here is the star midfield. In my opinion, I have set a pretty strong midfield. with a lot of key players in it, and I'm going to state my reasoning behind every one of them. I will start with the guys that are keeping their places in my side. First of all, I'm going to discuss Sterling. After game week 3, he was integral to every draft, blah, blah, blah. After game week 4, no one is considering him. That is stupid in my opinion. For me, Chelsea are having an okay fixture run, and Sterling is their best player by far in the attacking lineup. And going without Sterling, for me, looks like a very, very stupid thing that you can do, especially if you're on a wild card. I believe 4 fixtures from Sterling is very good pivot point for your side, and he is such a good price that you can either downgrade him or upgrade him if you sell some of your other expensive players, and he is an easy access to Diaby, a second Liverpool player, a second Arsenal player, maybe a cheap bargain from some team, a second Spurs player, a Manchester United player who obviously is missing from my side. Sterling can go up and high pretty easily, so for me Sterling on that threat that he's already showing, and on the saying that Chelsea are having a pretty good fixture run for the next 4 game weeks, in my opinion is a no-brainer to go without Sterling. So if you're on a wild card, highly consider Sterling, because in other case I believe you lose some points. Next up, the guy that is keeping the place is Saka. For me, Saka is the best player from Arsenal's attack. Martinelli is okay, but he's playing more wide. Now with Zinchenko and Jesus being back to the side, Jesus is back into contention to take up the striker spot, but I don't want to remove Saka so easily. Maybe Jesus will be integrated step by step, and Kitty is showing some progress and promise, and he is going to be integral as well for their side because of rotation in Champions League. Maybe Jesus is playing there and Kitty in the Prem. We have to see, but in my opinion, Saka is going to be nailed. If he is not, we will have to reconsider everything. But in my opinion, most probably penalties in his pocket. A very strong player. He can play as a right wing, he can play as a left back, he can play everywhere in the attack, in my opinion. And Saka is so good that for me he's going to play every week, just like Salah is playing for Liverpool. No matter how many games they're having, Saka is going to be there. And a good week against Everton is solid option. After that, it's a hard game against Spurs, but it's Spurs, so they're going to concede goals. And after that, it's a game against Bournemouth. So 2 easy fixtures from 3 fixtures, and a home game against Spurs in the North London derby. For me, Saka is staying in the side. And as you can see, there are 3 other players, and I'm going to start with the elephant in the room. It's Salah. I cannot go without a Liverpool player, period. I'm even considering a second one, because Liverpool are going to destroy teams in attack for sure. Now their midfield is being set. Their defenders are trying to keep the pace up with their midfield, and their attack is as strong as possible. The only reasoning that I'm not going for a second Liverpool attacker is that I don't know who I should go for, and the only player that is nailed in my eyes is Salah. He is for 4 returns from 4 games. He has 3 assists and a goal, which is a pretty good feat. He already almost had an assist for Darwin in game against Villa. And with Trent now most probably being out for a couple of weeks, Salah is going to be playing more direct, just like he was playing against Chelsea. And he scored a goal against Chelsea, but it was overturned. It doesn't matter. I believe that he still has penalties under his belt. I don't see why McAllister can... Maybe McAllister can take them, don't take it this the wrong way, but for me Salah is the greatest option for the Liverpool defense attack to score some goals, and he's the most nailed player. I know that he has been substituted off from time to time, but now when he rejected the offer from Saudi Arabia, I believe that more and more things will come his way. Maybe he will be rested in Europe. I don't know how they are going to manage his time, but in the past years he didn't need any managing, and he was as solid as ever in the Prem, and for me he's going to score a lot of goals. And if I don't get him on my wildcard, I won't get the chance to get him, and I don't see an option that is going to be better for the next 3 to 4 game weeks that then I have to take him in. Yeah, there is some tough fixtures for Liverpool, against a game against Spurs, then it's a game against Brighton. I know, but Spurs and Brighton are not very well defensively, so I believe Salah can score against them, especially on the counter-attack. Liverpool are deadly, and I will need Salah for those games. So I am bringing Salah in, and that's out of the question. The next guy that I'm bringing in is Maddison. I made a mistake to go for Foden instead of Maddison in game week 3, and I'm here to admit that. Maddison is integral to everything Spurs is doing. I know Son scored a hat-trick, but he's not going to score a hat-trick every game week, and he's not going to be a striker every game week. But every game week, Maddison is going to be the most integral player in their side. So that's the reasoning why Maddison is staying in. He can play on the left wing. He can go as an attacking midfielder, which is his best position. He can score inside the box, outside of the box. He is taking some set pieces very well. He assisted Romero already. He's taking the direct free kick. So almost every set piece is under Maddison's belt. I don't know if penalties are under his belt, but I don't care. Personally, for me, Maddison is going to chuck up some points step by step. Maybe 8 points here, 7 points there. Then it's a 15-point run. I want to be included in his points run. And the home game against Sheffield is a very, very good start. Then it's 2 hard games, but I believe that they can score goals against any oppositions. And they already scored 2 goals or more against everyone. So yeah, I need a Spurs attacker, and Maddison for me is the right player to do so. And the last player here is Mbumo. For me, he has been the player that I missed in my game week 1 draft. I had him for several weeks, and at the last moment I just removed him, and I'm here to admit that was a mistake. He maybe took some lessons from Tony how to take the penalties, because he's ice cold there. He's missing some easy chances, but he's getting into so many chances, and he's scoring a lot of goals. He's having a good run of fixtures coming after a Newcastle game. Against Newcastle, he's going to be a striker most probably, and on the counter, I see Henry passing the ball to Mbumo, sorting it behind Pope, and I believe Mbumo is going to get a lot more points. And if he is not performing and he gets fallen off, I'll just swap him for Diaby, Mitoma, Fati, or whoever is in form from the 6.5 range, because he's the most expensive 6.5 midfielder. He's now 6.8, so I believe Mbumo is going to be such a good price point, such as Sterling, that I can pivot him down if he is bad, or up if I have the money. But in my opinion, that midfield is going to be strong. As you can see, there are some obvious omissions. I don't have any Manchester United players. I don't have a Manchester City player here. I don't have a second Arsenal midfielder. I don't have any Brighton players, and I don't have any Villa players. I don't believe any other omissions are here, but those are 6 omissions. I will go step by step through all of them. I don't need any Brighton players right now, because I don't know who is going to play and how much is going to play. March, Mitoma, Andigara, João Pedro, Welbeck, Ferguson, Fati, Gross. Everyone can play in the front line. One is there. So until I see some structure, I am not going for them. A second Spurs player, I don't think I need it, especially with the hard fixtures coming up. A second Arsenal player, I don't know who's going to be nailed to the Champions League football starting. Maybe Odegaard, but I don't have the money for him right now. Most probably in the future I will. I don't have a Villa player yet, because I believe Sterling is more valuable than Diaby up until game week 7. After that, game week 8 is Diaby and Sterling equal, but if I don't want to waste a transfer, I'll just wait for game week 9 when Diaby is going to join the side, most probably if he is injury free. And the other player that I'm missing is Liverpool and City midfielders. I don't like City midfielders right now. A lot of rotation will happen there, and I believe that I will be doomed to miss something, most probably. And I already explained why I don't have a Liverpool midfielder, a second one. I don't know who to play yet. And the obvious omission here is a Manchester United midfielder. I do not care about playing them. They're in shambles. They're starting European football. They're playing in the Carabao. Anthony is out of the squad. Sancho is having issues with the coach. So that means Garancho and Rashford's on the wing. So Martial and Højlund up front may be okay. But I believe that they're far better and far settled in players in their side. Maybe Bruno Fernandes will hurt me. Most probably. Once again, I don't care. I cannot own them all. In my opinion, Maddison and Salah and Sterling are going to do damage, and they're the most integral players into their sides. They're not getting easy yellow cards, such as Bruno Fernandes, who is every time just arguing with the referees. I do not like that. So for me, 5 players from 5 different sides. I'm attacking a lot of fixtures. You can see a lot of away fixtures are upcoming for me this game week, but I want to settle up and set up a core, and I do not care about away fixtures, because away to Bournemouth, away to Wolves, away to Everton, and away to Manchester United, for Estupinian, is not something that I'm worried about. So I believe that the only hard game here is away for Brentford against Newcastle, but Brentford are a very, very solid side, and they're going to do some damage. I need to show you my strikers, because there is a big surprise there. You most probably would have guessed who it is, but let's go and see who the forward line is. As already in the midfield is settled in, and if there are no injuries, that's going to be my starting midfield. If you so far enjoyed my draft and want to see more content coming from me, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, like the video, comment down if you enjoyed my videos or if you like the wildcard draft that I already prepared. A lot more content is coming your way, so subscribe to the channel. Up front, I already said that there's going to be rotation from Manchester City, and I'm bringing their two strikers. They're there because City are the best team in the league so far, and in my opinion, Alvarez and Haaland are going to be nailed. If Haaland is not nailed, Alvarez is going to replace him, because there are going to be some tougher fixtures from Manchester City, but maybe Alvarez is rested in the Champions League, maybe he's rested in the Prem. I do not care, I have a pretty strong bench, but Alvarez and Haaland are playing so well right now together that I need them in my side, and in my opinion, for a couple of game weeks, the duo of Manchester City strikers, no matter if they are rested or not, is going to be a pretty good starting point for my wildcard draft. And the third player here is Archer. I am bringing the new 4.5 best striker. He's going to be a very, very good replacement to Alvarez if he's not playing. I do not care that he's having a game against Spurs. After that is an okay fixture run for them, and I have a pretty big plans for Archer, so he's staying in the side for now. In a minute, I will show you my plan for the upcoming 5 game weeks, how I'm going to set up, so stay tuned for that. Don't leave the video after you see that draft. But yeah, for now, Alvarez and Haaland starting. Haaland, the captain, obvious. I'm not going for Salah. I do not care if I own a better player than Haaland for that game week right now. Haaland is going to be the captain because he scored a hat-trick against a Fulham side, and he didn't have so many opportunities, and he just scored a hat-trick. He stayed 90 minutes, so yeah, he's staying in the side. A pretty good striker in Haaland, and Salah is going to be most probably my vice-captain, so I'll be prepared if Haaland is not playing. By the way, I'm not going to be streaming in the deadline because I'm away this weekend, so I'll be posting my team at Friday night after the press conferences, because if there's some injury news or something that is worrying me, I will swap it because I'm on a wild card. But 99.9% this is going to be my draft. Now let's go and see how I'm setting up for the future game weeks and how I plan to use my transfers to get my team up for the already planned game week 9 wildcard that I was preparing for before the start of the season. I'm using FPL.team site, and I've built my wildcard draft here. Don't mind the minus 0.2 million here because I already made the transfers and the money are enough, just like I explained before in the team selection video. As you can see, that's the lineup for game week 5. It's the same lineup that I showcased to you. It's most probably going to be Archer on the bench as a first option, Giles here, and then Egan Riley is the last player here. I do not care about him. Sterling is here, my vice-captain, but I'm making Salah my vice. It doesn't matter. And here, this is the lineup that I'm preparing for game week 6. Let's move it here. We have Flecken against Everton, he's staying. Estupinian against Bournemouth, he's staying. Udogi against Arsenal is out of the side, and it's a home fixture for Giles, who I expect to give an assist or score the goal in the Wooten shirt because he is that attacking. I like him more than Kabore because he is more nailed. Chilwell is staying in the side against Villa. Arsenal away for Maddison. I already explained that I'm using that player here. Saka against Spurs. Spurs are not good defensively, and I believe Saka can do damage against Spurs, but Maddison can do damage against Arsenal as well. Everton home for Mbumo, Sterling home fixture against Villa, who are shaky, and we'll have European fixture before that and a Carabao after that, while Chelsea are going to be rested before game week 6. Salah against West Ham, he tends to do very well against West Ham, and the two strikers against Nottingham Forest, I believe they are going to be very, very solid. Next up is game week 7, where we have Flecken against Nottingham Forest, good to go. Chilwell against Fulham. Giles against Everton and Burnley, good to go. Estupinian Aston Villa away. Maddison is Liverpool and Salah is Tottenham, but both teams are not very good defensively and they're very good offensively, so I do not care about that. Then it's Saka against Bournemouth, a pretty good fixture run. Sterling against Fulham. Nottingham Forest for Brentford, as I already explained. West Ham is for Aston Villa, so if I want to replace some of them for Sheffield, sorry, so I'll go there. Udogi is against Liverpool, I'm not playing him here. Manchester United are playing a game against Crystal Palace. I believe Crystal Palace can keep a clean sheet against them, so I'm not picking a Manchester United player. But I have two transfers, as you can already see, and the transfers that I'm going to make is going to be Alvarez out for Morris, most probably. 2 games for Morris, it's better than 1 game for Alvarez, most probably, and he's their penalty taker. Alvarez may be rested in game week 7 after the 4 games after the break. So yeah, Haaland my captain, most probably is going to be Saka my vice, and Morris is going to remain in the side. Next in game week 8, Flecken against United, I do not care about that, he's playing. If I find it disturbing, I can play Turner. Chilwell against Burnley, Giles against Spurs is going away. Udogi is coming into the side. Estupinian against Liverpool. We'll see if he's going to play, or Giles against Spurs. Maddison against Wootton, obvious. Salah against Brighton, obvious. Saka against Manchester City, I do not care. Saka is going to remain in the side. Then it's okay fixture for Sterling, a hard fixture for Mbomo, but United are leaking defense because the most solid defenders from their side are injured. Morris is going to the bench, Archer is coming in for him, and Haaland is my captain. But here I'm going to use a transfer, and most probably I will bring in Matt Cash, who is having a game against Wolves, or Botman, who is having a game against West Ham United. I will see, but most probably is going to be Cash because I want the attacking defenders to be in my side. And Estupinian is coming on the bench, so everything is set up for game week 8. Very, very well. I believe that this expected point run, yeah, maybe it's better to have Estupinian. He's very highly rated. Maybe I'll play him, but most probably I will bench him because I need the attacking defenders. It's an away game. It's only 46 points here that are expected, but I do not care about that. And in game week 8, there is a turn 4 fixture for Chelsea, and I'm most probably removing Sterling for Diaby, and most probably bringing in, let's say, Botman, or I have the money for Shar here for Chilwell, and I have a pretty solid side coming into game week 9, and it's looking like the team that I was going to build in no matter what. And here Morris is playing against Nottingham Forest, Archer is on the bench, and I have a pretty solid bench. And next week I don't think I'm using any transfers. I don't see an issue here with my side. Maybe if someone is doing well, I will bring him into the side, but I don't see it as a necessity. And in game week 11, a lot of things may happen here. I already have a replacement for Udogi. He's coming in. Everton away for Estupinian. Maybe I will bring in a defender instead of Shar to cover up for the Arsenal fixture. Or maybe I will bring in a second striker that is doing bits. Maybe a second Liverpool striker. Gakpo or Nunes are very, very highly considered. Maybe Nkunku is already fit after that, I'm not sure, but maybe he's an option. Højlund may become an option, I know he's bad right now. Gabriel Jesus may become an option. There are a lot of things that I can do, and with my transfers I can do a lot of things. I have 2 transfers, and it's already game week 11, and I'm perfectly set with the template, with the draft, and I don't see a lot of other players being selected here. Rather, most probably it's going to be one United player in midfield, but I will have Salah against the easier opposition, so I will be pretty delighted with my team at that point of the season. Most probably, I'm not saying anything for sure, but it's looked like this. I hope you enjoyed that wildcard selection. I think I explained my reasoning behind every pick. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you did. Like the video. Give a comment if you have any questions, if you want to discuss something. Be ready to see on my YouTube channel a comment with my team at Friday night, because I will be then posting it. But be prepared that I'm not streaming on the deadline, because I will be away, as I already explained. But after that I will be coming back with another video for Game Week 6. Be prepared and wait for it. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye!